Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm here. This is Maker Mornings with Meg, and I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and I am excited to share a Friday project with you. So today is sunny outside. It's kind of cold where I am still, like 30 degrees, but it's sunny and I'm going with spring. So it's gonna be 70 tomorrow. You gotta love those temperature swings. I don't know if you get those where you are. But anyway, we're like all springy and oceany and beachy. Here's my Mickey beachy top. Because we are making a card today with Waves of Inspiration, which is a new stamp set. It just came out March 1st, and it coordinates with the amazing, actually there's a whole suite of coordinating amazing pieces, the Waves dies. And then my favorite part of this suite is very easily the designer series paper. Let me get this set to show you. So this, I teased a couple times. I showed you some pictures of this before, but here is the amazing paper. So here are kind of all the pieces together. So I'm gonna show you 18 cards today. So fasten your seatbelt. We're gonna get those all covered. The paper is all blues and greens on one side, and then sort of soft pastels, Calypso Coral, so saffron, and so forth on the other. And so today's card, I actually intended to do one. I'll show you the intended version, but I saw a card by another demonstrator, Julie Petrie, and I found a really great fit for her idea on the back of one of my papers. So I'm gonna show you how I came across that. And then I'm going to show you the rhinestones, and then, like I said, those 18 cards. So if you aren't familiar with this paper, I'll show it up really close. It is a photograph of an acrylic paint pour. And if you haven't seen that before, basically you take acrylic paint and you layer it like in a cup, and you pour it out on a canvas. And as it pours, it makes these, like, it pushes the color layer across and gives you these cool, these cool, well, just really blendy patterns in the way they come together. So Stampin' Up! Did that to make this paper. All right, you guys ready to see today's project? Hey, Kay and Carol and Cheryl and Carol and Kelly and Doris and Deborah and Trish and everybody who is on this morning. So hope you guys, hey Tracy, have an exciting Friday coming. Sue asked what the name of the paper is. It's called Waves of the Ocean. There's a link in the video description for all of the supplies in today's card. And Doris, I didn't know that. So Doris said that they're called cells in paint pour, the way the colors come together. Yeah, I actually haven't done it before. I think it's gorgeous, but there's no mess with designer series paper. So, all right, hey Kim. I'm going to flip you guys down here and get us going here on our project. So let's see, let me get that out of the way. All right. Okay, so like I said, on our card, I had intended to do one thing, and then we're gonna do something a little different. So on these papers, when you have something that's so gorgeous and so beautiful, it's a 3x4 card is one of my favorite layouts. So basically I cut my designer series paper into 4-inch strips and then you can cut them 3 inches wide. And this is a great card size or DSP size to feature on a paper. Somebody asked me once if I pre-cut my paper. I don't. I really like to have the flexibility of like doing DSP card bases and all those other things that I like to show you. So I leave my paper whole and then cut it as I need it for each project. So, but these 3x4s are pretty quick. So you can kind of see how you could get those all chopped up. And then you're gonna chop up a piece of regular cardstock to coordinate. And I love the way Night of Navy goes with these paint colors. And so this piece 3x4, this piece 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, which is, you get 6 of them out of a sheet. So you can see how easy that is to put together. And then this would just layer here onto a standard card base. So the DSP is really the focal point of this. So we're gonna add some accessory images around the edge to highlight it. But before I do that, I'm gonna tell you, I flipped these over and I thought, ooh, okay, these are really pretty. And this one has this cool effect where it's almost like there's sort of a beachy line here and then into the water from there. So I'm gonna use this side, and this is the one I said, I saw a card by Julie Petrie that made the most of this kind of piece here. So we're gonna go with this one. And that is, we're gonna put the beach at the bottom. So it's gonna be like this. And now we're going to add some elements to that. So I'm gonna grab a piece of basic white cardstock here, and the stamps in this set include this pelican on a pier, which is a great like side image if you wanna have sort of an extra side element. And so I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this in Night of Navy, and there we go with our pelican. And I love the detail in this stamp. These red rubber stamps, Stampin' Up! Has just amazing quality, and you can really see the texture and the detail, if I'm not too close, in that image there. So to go with this, we are going to need a greeting, and the ones in here are terrific. Your strength is an inspiration, which I really think goes great with these sort of wave images. You're so totally awesome. Happy birthday. Our friendship is a thing of beauty. So I'm going to go with the strength one. Your strength is an inspiration. And I'm going to pop this on here as a, oh, I just totally smeared my pelican. Okay. Well, the beauty of this is that Stampin' Up! Cardstock is terrific, and you can stamp on the back side without your image showing through, which is not true of all cardstock. That is for certain, especially with a dark color like Night of Navy. All right, so we have our our strength greeting here, and we have our pelican here. I'm going to bring my die in. Pam says she loves this set. I totally agree. And the stamps are gorgeous and great, but then you have this whole die set on top of it, which just multiplies the possibilities. So I'm gonna show you a bunch of samples. I'm not gonna use these dies with the wave today, but I'm gonna show you in our other 17 samples, some of those. What I am gonna use is this tag here. Oops. This tag is a perfect fit for the greeting in the set. It's almost like they're made for each other. And then we have our die here, which is going to match our pelican. I will cut the one from the other side. And then we have these cloud accent pieces, and I'm going to pull these out because we're going to use these too, and there's some special things about them. So there's another die across there too. Lots of possibilities. Now, if you are needing something quick and easy to do your die cutting, the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss is available during the special for March, and it's 20% off. So if you've been looking at this one and trying to decide what to get, this is a really great time to pick it up. So this is a perfect one for the size of these dies, but I have them cut through the magic of television, so I'll show you there. Okay, so now through the magic of television, we have our die cutting pieces done, but I'm gonna bring these in here, and the secret cutting size for this, if you want to use this here as like you could put ribbon through here or through designer series paper, it is 1/2 inch plus 3/16. So that would be 8 and 11/16 inches. If you want to count that way, I just do it as 1/2 plus 3, or you could just sort of keep narrowing your paper down until it fits through there. That works too. So let's go ahead and mount these pieces. I am going to add some Seal Plus to the back here. Seal would also work, but this is what I picked up first. And we're gonna put our beach down there towards the bottom. Then I am going to bring in our greeting here, and we're gonna put this maybe kind of the like bottom third line on our card. So think about using those thirds. And I'm gonna just go across here. I'm gonna use my Seal Plus again to make sure that I catch the slider piece. So I wanna keep that slider piece from sliding on our card. So I've got that caught up in my adhesive too. And then this is gonna come across here like that. And we have our pelican to add to our card. And I love how this gives us kind of a vertical element here on the edge to sort of set aside the spacing here on the rest of our card. Now, before I stick this down, you're wondering about these clouds here and this cute little seagull idea. So this sort of is sort of a wave, sort of a sky, sort of a whatever. So let's go ahead and bring in some foil. If you're wondering where I got that blue foil sheet from, it is from these blue foils is I think what they're called in the store. And they come in silver and this gorgeous teal color and this one, which I think is like Night of Navy, but it's also very Pacific pointy and possibility. So it's kind of like a soft silver. It's got a little bit of a brushed quality to it, but it's not textured. And it takes these dyes perfectly, which is great because I'm going to show you how these dyes are textured. Now, when you are die cutting with foils, generally I don't put in more foil than necessary because if you run this whole strip through, if you have on your plates, if you have like marks from the cutting and so forth, which, oops, dropping pieces, which you would just from the way the cutting plates get scored, then those cut lines can transfer to your foil. And so you don't want to damage the other foil sheets there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and layer these. Now, if you're wondering why I was switching these around, with your plates, this one here is starting to warp just a little. Can you see that? And I'm gonna tell you why. The why is that I've managed to cut all in the center on this one side of it, and only a little bit vary around the edge on the back side of it. Now, if you think of this as instead of being a solid, think of it as like a layer of panels. So if this was like a fused panel layer, and I cut up this side of it, then the integrity of this side of the plate is getting worse. So it's going to let it, expand away from there. But the integrity of this side is really strong, so it's going to pull towards it. So then you can see it kind of starting to bow as you go. So the goal on my plates is always to mix up my cutting and put things in different areas so that the integrity of both sides of the plate is kind of changed in tandem. And so I'm not getting like weird bows in my plates in places. So you can still use them when they're bowed. I do all the time, but I find it a little bit nicer if they're not all gallywampus. So, all right, I've staggered my plates and I'm just gonna get that started to run through and there we go. It's actually not hard to turn. I'm just trying to keep it from sliding all over the place, which I know I could do easily if I didn't have this paper here, but I like having the paper for you guys to see. So, okay, so there you can see our clouds, and this is what I wanted to show off to you, the awesome texture in these clouds. So you can see not only did they cut, but they also did a really cool sort of debossing or embossing there with the texture that's included in them. So you get a lot more effect for your die cut than just a regular flat die. So let's bring this back in here and put these pieces here together. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up on some Stampin' Dimensionals if I can find them here on the edge of my table. There we go. I had a ton of minis and I think I just want regulars for this. And so I've got a couple dies on here and I'm gonna leave them down. I think I've got them in the right spot so that I can still get some clouds behind. And then we're gonna add some of these clouds here, kind of behind our pelican. There we go. Okay. Let's see, maybe out there. No, I kind of like it back over here. All right, so we have kind of a foreground and a background element. So I'll grab my multi-purpose liquid glue and stick this on here. And I want remember your clouds are gonna be on a horizon line, so you want them to be straight on the horizon. You don't want them to be like cockeyed. They're not happy that way. So, all right, and then this guy right here. Okay, now we have one more thing to add to this card, which is extra bling. These are the Rhinestones waves. You can tell that I really liked this color here. I think there are 6 colors, and this one was the one that I used up first. But the nice thing is that it just helps me branch out. And I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to use this color here because it's a really nice fit here with this kind of coral. That's not coral. Bermuda-y background. So I'm gonna pop one there, and then I'm gonna use one bigger one. And I'm gonna pop it down here. Okay, I like that, the way the colors kind of flow together there. So these are terrific rhinestones. They're available as part of the Waves of the Ocean Suite collection. So just debuted in March. Now, the stamps and the dies will continue into the new catalog. So they'll continue to be available, but the designer series paper, so the paint pours, these are only limited time. So I would not wait on this. I assume if they sell out, they will disappear. And that's true of the blue foils too. So those elements and the rhinestones are limited time. So link in the video description. Okay, you guys want to see the original version of this card? My original one without the beachy inspiration, Lana said she's learning from my teaching moments. Yes, right? That's what we jokingly call mistakes, teachable moments. So I don't know, did I have a teachable moment? Maybe. I have lots of them. You know what? Honestly, just recovering from mistakes is a big part of stamping. So yeah, I don't even really notice them so much. Okay, so there are our two versions. This is the one with the paint pour kind of this side, and this is the one with the paint pour on the back side. So lots of possibilities. There's two identical cards with just kind of two different effects. Now, you ready for the other 18 of these, or 17, 16, whatever. I think there's 18 total. Okay, here we go. Oh, the plates, yes. Yeah, total teachable moment on that one. Make sure you flip them and move your die cutting around. So, all right, so I promised you guys some foils and some die cuts. So this one is a card done by Linda Bowen. And in her card, Linda used the Waves dies. She just used one of them. And for the background, instead of layering a second die, she did like a fussy cut. So she stuck down the foil and then did a fussy cut with the background. And I love the way that layers over the top of the paint pour. And she used this other greeting here. All right, this is a card by Jan McClurg, and she did a cool layout here. So we've done actually a ton of these here at Maker Mornings with Meg recently. So this card might look familiar, and you can see that it is a Z-fold card. So this Jan's card is a Z-fold card too. It's just facing the other direction, and she used a small panel rather than this full panel, okay? So it opens like this, and then it also will stand up because she put this on dimensionals here. So somebody asked me the other day, if I send an easel card like this, do I send a little how-to in the card envelope? I don't. I guess you could. You could also think that maybe people would just kind of figure it out. Or you could send this kind of fabulous card to somebody who is a stamper and would know that it's an easel card. So that's a great idea too. All right. Oh, Trish says she is, yeah, another sweet to get. I know. It is a pretty one though. And really, it could make terrific masculine cards if you have you know, do it up in blues and tans and things like that. It really is a very universal appeal kind of thing. And Sue said she liked the green foil on the blue waves. Okay, this card is by Laura Bartow, and Laura used this stamp, this big wave stamp here. And she then, I think, took sponge daubers and colored the background. And she put ribbon in here inside this fun little element that we used. Here is a card by Amy Story, and Amy used both of the dyes. You can see there's both the dark blue and the teal-y blue there, and she layered them. She used sort of the same kind of principle here as a 3x4 card, but she did hers with the scalloped edges. And then this is a two-tone tag. So she, I think, probably layered the Pacific Point and the basic white cardstock together first, and then ran it through her die cut machine all at once so she could get that element there. Okay, here is just what we were talking about. This is by Ann Clemmer, and it is sort of those tans and blues idea. So this, on the Pelican, I have one of these that I did, I'll show you in the neutral color, or white color here. And it's really easy to watercolor or to add a watercolor kind of look to this. And so here's kind of another version of it where you stamp it, and then you can just take like a paintbrush and water or your water painter with just a little water in it, and you can sort of smush that ink around just what you stamped. You don't have to add any extra ink. And the texture that's already included in the stamp is really easy to bring out. So play with that when you make this. And then this is the background, the Waves background stamp from the January through June catalog. All right, this one is by Leanne Greff, and Leanne did the same trick here as Linda on this card, where she used the die and then cut a fussy cut background to go with it. So Leanne did hers in white, and then she fussy cut the stamped background to go behind it, and then this I would do with blending brushes to get that cool effect there in the background. Here is another card that features our Pelican Friend by Margaret Van Vliet. And Margaret just used strips of designer paper and foil, and really the exact same kind of layout idea as this 3x4, except she used the stitched rectangle from the Stitched Rectangle dies, which I also adore. Okay, our next card is by Colleen Magnus. And it opens this way. So basically it's a regular card where you just trim off an extra like 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches here, and then decorate the layers. She just turned it sideways. And so she's got designer series paper, the rhinestones, the foils, and then this is the stamped image here. And to get this variation on here, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can, ink your stamp carefully, so just sort of pounce ink on in different places. You can use a blending brush to add ink to different areas. You can use a sponge dauber, lots of good possibilities. This one by Susan Elise Morton is kind of a clean card where she stamped the wave in the background and then added the die over the top. So now this one uses our same, by Natalie Travis, uses our same strippy banner trick here, and then she used the 2 dies directly over the designer series paper, and I love the way that comes together. Here is a card by Janice Waitman, who went out and used the other side of the paper. All of us kind of gravitate towards the blues, it seems like, but Janice went ahead and used the background here from this paper, which is those pretty Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, So Saffron, Bumblebee combinations. And she used really the same kind of layout that we did here. Oh, I meant to use the bird on mine. I forgot. I was going to stamp some birds out there, but whatever. That's okay. So you can see hers here. And then for the rhinestones, I wonder if she colored silver rhinestones, the regular rhinestones, with a Stampin' Blends marker to get that fun color there. This one is a really pretty card by Robin Carden, and Robin used 1 layer of the dies, and then in the background you can see she kind of sequentially layered the color. So it was Night of Navy at the bottom, and then like some Coastal Cabana over here. It looks like Granny Apple Green up in here, and then that layered wave really decorates that stamped image. So really pretty there. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these cards. Let's see, another, yeah. And then the clouds here make a great background where you can just go ahead and use those just as layered on white. So, all right, another card here. Denise Jorgensen used the designer paper and then the pelican on the side. This card you can kind of see is pretty similar to this one here, where she stamped instead of using the designer series paper, and also similar to this one. You can kind of see that. And I'll show you, in case you didn't see, which I didn't right away, there's actually under here a layer of basic white, and this is just torn at the top, kind of like a wave, which is kind of a neat thing. This card is Karen Titus's. It's a triple panel card, kind of like the one I showed you guys on Wednesday. So this was our triple panel where it opened this way and had all the elements. So she cut hers exactly the same, except she adhered the edges so that only the center opens. So you could totally do that with this kind of card layout too. This was Abstract Beauty, which is one of my featured cards for the month of March. All right, and then I have another card by EVD Piazza, and she stamped at the bottom. And I like the kind of variation here. I think she just stamped, she inked her stamp with pad across, and then did some blending brush here in the background to soften that white. And then here is a card by Joyce Fracco, and Joyce did her card just like we did with the triple panel. So this one is done the same. So instead of adhering the sides down like Karen did, Joyce had hers open just like this. So, and I love this card idea. Actually did this a year or two ago during celebration with some strawberries and the strawberry paper. So if you remembered that, you might have thought that that was familiar when I showed this. And the other thing that I love about this card is that she used the wave folder on the foil, but she didn't have it cut out. So you can do this if you play a little bit with the thickness of your sandwich. Instead of using, you would have to use the big die, or the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss. These aren't big enough for this die. Wait, are they? Oh, totally they are. Oh my gosh. Okay, well anyway, what you can do is you can play with the thickness of your sandwich by padding it with, instead of like a plate, you could pad it with a piece of tagboard. You can pad it with some layers of cardstock. And so you want it to be thick enough to leave an impression, but not so thick that the die actually cuts. And then you can get this kind of leave-in technique on the background. So, all right. So that is our collection of waves cards. Yes. Oh yeah, Sue said that tearing the DSP looked as good as a wave too. Yeah, I love the way that effect came together. So lots and lots of ideas for this suite. And like I said, the suite just came out March 1st, so it's brand new. And the designer series paper is limited time. I think the date is May 2nd. I'll have to double check that for you, but don't wait. Oh, Sue says, hi, Pepper. Yes, can you hear her? It is sunny outside, so Pepper's our dog. She is sure that she needs to be outside because it's a beautiful sunny day and she just wants to go lay in the sun and soak up all those rays. But then as soon as I open the door, the wave of cold hits her in the face and she thinks, wait, that's not what I wanted. I don't want to be where it's cold. So anyway, that's why she's sitting by the door thinking she wants to go out. So, all right, everybody says thanks for the cards. Great inspiration. Yes, so with 18 projects to pull from, I really think you guys will find you have plenty of ways to use this card, this stamp set. And like I said, it's available for a limited time. I considered using it for my March LovenStamps card tutorials, the ones that you get free as a PDF when you place an order, or you get two card kits in the mail if you your order is at least $50. But I was afraid that it might sell out before the end of the month, and I didn't want to have like tempting stuff for you guys that you couldn't get, because I feel like that's kind of rough. Anyway, so I didn't feature it, but you can be sure that with today's video, there are lots of ideas on using it, and I'm sure that I will demo it again before the end of March. So, all right, guys, Friday, and I hope that you have some fun things in mind for your weekend, a chance to be creative, chance to make something and share it with somebody in your life. Even if it is the person who you happen to see when you go to the grocery store and you're checking out. So I hope that you are excited to pull out some crafty tools and get some things made this weekend. So, all right, I'll be back on Monday for another Maker Mornings with Meg, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Thanks for stamping with me today, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys. Take care.